Hello, it's Lubjub from One Take Narrations, and this is the one take narration of Chapter 3, Never Going Through That Again. Slowly regaining my senses as the voice fades, I found myself awakening in the Meat and Veg, a roadside tavern nestled between Hawkstown and Etnarventown. "He's finally coming back to us!" Horace, terrifying all the patrons, except Rhua and Wardi, piped up. "Jeez, man. What the hell happened?" Wardi says, grabbing a bottle of checkered armour ale. "This is why you're not the glue, Wardi. This stuff is 300 HFC a bottle, and I've had piss that tastes better. Zing zing zingaroni." This is serious?" Rhua's face was glowing red, and she wanted to throttle me. All of a sudden, you stopped, looked right through us, and said something that sounded like foul, and dropped to the floor faster than any of us could react. Barry tried to aid you, but something blocked any attempts at aid. We had to just wait for you to return to us. Rhua's verbal assault crushed my soul, and Horace patted my back to cheer me up. "I carried you from there to the tavern, and we said you got carried away trying to enhance yourself with portions from Barry's place. Easy enough cover story for transporting a body out of town and not getting the police on our tail." Wardi, through a scrunched face from the shit beer, managed to say, "Give me a break. I didn't do it voluntarily." Trying my best to sound sincere, I apologised with, "I have no idea what it was. I feel my normal self. If there's anything wrong with me like that again, I will say something." "What?" "No, you will, man." Horace pipes up. This time the tavern owner Spaff heard Horace's angelic wailing and stormed over to us. "Oh, sugar honey iced tea. Get those shields up. This is going to be a moist one." Rhua held her hands over her face as Spaff rushed over. "Listen, you tarts," Spaff showering us with spit as he talks. "If he does that again, I'll smash him hard enough the doorknob will fucking hear it." Horace looked down at the floor, in need of a warm hug. Wardi quickly jumped in after seeing his party member, looking as if he would start crying and apologise. "No need to threaten him, Spaff. He has a disability, and he tried going on welfare, but job office said he was not fit for work. An oral disability is not enough for a claim these days, they said, and who wants to employ someone that bursts into angelic chorus every other line?" The barkeep was flustered at that politically correct beatdown. "Oh, look, I'm sorry. Business been shit lately, and on the brink of branching off into less moral or dangerous things. No hard feels, Horace. We'll sort you at the back of swine scratches on this house." Horace, looking a bit more positive on life, nods and walks over to the front of the bar with Spaff. Wardi keeps his ears on us, but his eyes on Horace, on the off chance Spaff was trying to secretly give him a sneaky boot down. "You can't go scaring us like that again anytime soon. Preferably never if possible, man." Wardi, forcing himself to drink the low-quality beer, said, after taking a swig. "Noted, boss man," trying to bring some normality back into play and getting things a bit more upbeat. "Come on, let's finish up and return to action. What's on the agenda? Did you discuss anything whilst I was out of it?" I followed up with. Wardi began melting into the filthy tavern banquet from tiredness to talk. "Not far from the tavern, I got a call from Lucy on Shellnet, saying we should meet her over in Etnarventown. She said something about Von Manor and weird screams come from inside. Our destination was through Hasselnut Woods, a detour that wouldn't affect the journey time overall, and it's safer with Colossi Vivioli. The four of us have a good rapport with her after the allotment scandal in 43. Turns out someone tried to sell her implum seeds, which grow into highly explosive plants. Horace spotted them without having to double take, and warned her they'll destroy the forest if she doesn't get rid of them as soon as possible. It's been a while since we've spoken, so it'd be nice to walk and talk. Besides, she's got a soft spot for Horace, lovable little sausage that he is, so it will probably work in our favour if we can keep it that way. Vivioli, unlike most Colossi, enjoys talking with the various races. Rhua called out her name. "Vivioli, you here?" The wind suddenly picked up as she quickly sped in our direction. Horace runs, or well, at least tries to. What can you do against gale force? Vivioli landed in front of us, her gardening tools dropping to the floor with a loud clang. A scythe narrowly misses Horace, and the rest of the tools suddenly embed themselves inches away from us.
Viv, your tools! Your tools!
Piped Horace. Viv looks in horror. She realises that we just watched our lives flash before our eyes, and her tears come bursting out onto the floor.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
I'm grateful for the flash shower. It cleared my nose right out, and I could smell the scumper blood undertones, with a bass note of vanilla emanating from my pits. Whispering subtly to Rhua so I didn't make Viv cry more.
Now that you mention it, I do feel more refreshed myself. It's been days of work, more work and fighting. Let's clean it properly in Narvin, she replied.
As Viv focused on creating a makeshift paddling pool for us, a certain someone couldn't contain himself anymore.
Viv! It's so good to see you!
Let me wipe away those tears! Horace spelts out. Viv stopped crying and scooped Horace up in one fuzzy sweep and nuzzled him into her fuzzy cheeks. The pollen she had built up from collecting essentially dyed the entirety of Horace's body. No longer recognisable for his faded booffle leather attire or his makeshift black pixie glass ball helmet. It was lilac colour, noticeable from the lavender plants that grew here in Hasselnut. Her eyes focused on Horace. She said she was doing well now that he was here, and asked how we were, though it's clear she just wanted to speak to him specifically. Good. You're looking well. How are things been in the wood lately? Asked Wardi.
Quiet, beautiful.
She bellows, blowing us back a little in her excitement.
I'm glad to see my little Horatio is being looked after. That fills me with endless joy. Come now, hop on. I'll take you to the woods. I'll be faster than walking.
We would have rejected the offer. However, the hand that scooped us into a tool bag scored a fatal blow against the idea, and we weren't up for a rebellion right now.
Calm, quiet, and bountiful.
She boldly bellows, blowing us back a little in her excitement.
I'm glad to see my little Horatio is being looked after. That fills me with endless joy. Come now, hop on, I'll take you through the woods. It'll be faster than walking.
We would have rejected the offer. However, the hand that scooped us into a tool bag scored a fatal blow to the idea, and we went up for rebellion right now. Horace, a total legend, had a special seat upon her head. Viv began stomping her way through the forest, slowly picking up speed. It wasn't long before we were buzzing our way through the woods as if someone cruelly attached a megaphone to a bee and connected it up to a 1,000-watt system.
Viv!
Have you noticed anything changing in the woods lately? Horace piped. And considered came out of her, the vibration so strong that as she tried to hide her true thoughts, we could probably detect it without the need for an ability.
Thought I would be trying to expand by digging underground. Colossal Emperor sent me a message saying he gave them a fair warning not to build near his cavern. You know what it's like dealing with this. Nobody ever says no. They ever stop digging around his caverns though.
Passing abruptly and vibrating our brains to pieces, she said,
There was also something that happened, maybe 15 days ago. It felt like an energy manifested, lasted a few seconds, then completely vanished.
She picked us one by one out of the tool bag and placed us at the edge of the woods.
I picked up this man of seriously blood lavin. It's time to get my paper thumbs in action. Bye friends, bye Horatio,
said Viv as she winked at him and then proceeded to stomp her way back through the forest. Horace, exceptionally pleased with himself, told us that he had asked Viv if she knew about the Vichessia stone before getting off. As per our luck, she didn't know anything.
Can you say that without smiling like you just found out critical information, Horace, you donut?
Rhua barked at him.
I'm so happy after seeing my old friend Vivioli. My buzz will not be unbuzzed today.
Horace piped with a beaming smile.
Can you say that? Can you say that without smiling like you just found out critical information, Horace, you donut?
Rhua barked at him.
I'm so happy after seeing my old friend. Can you say that without smiling like you just found out critical information, Horace, you donut?
Rhua barked at him.
I am so happy after seeing my old friend Vivioli. My buzz will not be a buzz today.
Horace piped with a beaming smile. Narvin is just a stone's throw away. The town is famous for the Von family. They were originally in the western land of Somerville, back on Terra, and had been well established and respected entity within the catering industry. Their youngest daughter, Scancarella Von, had an affair with adult bookstar Kong Celery that caused a media frenzy, derailing the dynasty. She just fell onto him, and at fear at first sight, the headline news outlets went with. When the rebuild occurred, the notable, distinctive manor house was, for reasons nobody really knows, strangely placed adjacent to the town. Narvin was notable for its distinctive black wooden housing, which was a stark contrast to the bleached sand-coloured bricks of the manor house. The Helsnut route exits close to Narvin's eastern gate entrance. Wardi is fond of this place, and Barry's cousin Larry is the head of the Scrollatorium shop. Hopefully, I have the opportunity this time to explain how the Malata and the system work without getting into a forced dream sequence, because nobody ain't got time for that, I thought. Scrolls are hard to produce and cost a fortune to buy outright. The mats to make them only come from Chasm and higher dungeons, and everyone wants that sort of stuff. So many scroll hunters typically end up working via contracts for new arts on a monthly fee basis. Let me break it down for you. Scroll of Lightning Tempest, or the 800,000 HSC. Light up your foes today.
This is Norman. He is an art user, but does not have that sort of coin. He has just noticed a fast method of obtaining the powerful new art advertised in the store window. Dave, from Money, offers to pay for said scroll, plus a fixed rate fee of 10% APR. Norman knows he could just adventure and prove his worth to a teacher for lessons in higher ranking arts. Dave tells him,
Look, mate, it's a unmissable deal. I can offer you, and only you, exclusively, Norman.
Convincing him to sign up. Norman believed he was going to make it all back quickly. Despite not being able to afford the scroll, this plan did not go the way he wanted it to. Money gave him a 30-day period to pay back, effective immediately. Because he's failed on 2 monthly repayments, the wife is not happy, and the kids keep saying Dave instead of Daddy. Norman pleads with customer service agent, but due to the signed contract, Money is sent in the goon squad for repossession purposes. They take the house, cart, and the wife has run off with kids in Dave's locomotion mode of transport to the summer hubs atoll. Now Norman is on a court order to pay back all the accrued debt, and has currently repaid 600,000 HFC out of 960,000 HFC.
Poor guy. True story. We approach the Scrollatorium and notice the lights are off. Rhua tried to probe our thoughts a little.
That's a bit strange, don't you think?
Let's work together, regardless of weather. However low we go, it's on with the show. Little lambs, expect the unexpected. Wardi said, whilst he maintained a look of smouldering concentration, staring off into the distance.
Vai helvete! What you talking about?
Rhua barked at Wardi. who sulked and looked at the floor in that way children do to act all cute and innocent.
It's a line from
those books he's been reading.
You know,
The brave little lambs, Horace piped up.
Oh, aren't they for kids to read, Wardi? Don't you want to read something a bit more mature?
Rhua retorted with a chillingly blank stare. Wardi scoffed at her. Just 'cause it's a kid's book don't mean it's not worth a read. Whilst the grand bickering was still ongoing, I waved to Horace and he nodded, following me to the door, which was, of course, locked. But the gods love a trier. We walked round the back of the shop and tried to open the garden door. Lock, mate. You think you can try and find a key or your gift? I said to Horace.
My time to shine,
Horace piped up. As he began to use his gift, 8 symbols appeared behind him, activating his gift. The symbols are related to the god they came from, is what I've been told. Horace sniffs the air and suddenly bolts off. With any luck, he'll come back with a key or scroll that can get us inside. Wardi and Rhua have come back during the time Horace went off looking. Sorry about that. Things got a little heated back there, Wardi said with a sad smile.
Take no notice of me. I shouldn't have let my emotions get better of me,
Rhua said with sincerity. Not sure why you're apologising. We didn't hear much after round 1 kicked off. Horace should be back soon though, so let's compose ourselves. Never know what's going to happen with that gift of his. I quipped at them, keeping it a little light, so they don't get angry again. Horace was gone for a while, so we played the odd game of Eleman Go. Easy enough to play if you have someone capable of low-tier combat or healing spells. Players look away, and the caster creates a small elemental orb whilst channeling Eleman Go. At the word go, call it what the element was. The mage can choose to throw the orbs at the losers, if they desire, or save it for the next rounds to increase the impact. It was around 10 minutes before the rumblings of an incoming Horace was audible in the distance. He quickly darted into sight, leaping over the various neighbouring fences before eventually making it back to the backyard of the shop. Only Wardi noticed that Horace had returned to us with a large shimmering stone-like object. Having noticed what he had, quickly dived into the alleyway besides the shop. Horace proceeded to launch the object, which activated a fence mechanism as it hit one of the windows. The object proceeded to multiply and came back at us with double the speed, hitting us all at the same time, just in different critical zones. I took a blast to the gut. Horace took a clean hit to the face, while Rhua had her legs taken out.
Sorry,
Horace, feeling guilty from the own goal he just scored, piped up. Wardi had a devilish grin on his face as he realised what Horace found out. Well, that's a new one. Never expected him to find a claw art stone out this way. Wonder where he got it from. That'll make some good items if we can find our ranking jeweller. I think I can see my great-great-grandma. She's telling me, go into the light. Wardi interrupted my goodbye by throwing soother salves at us, recovering a bit of my beaten-up gut. Piping up through a whisper.
I wish this gift were more useful.
Rhua comforted Horace, placing her hand on his head and rubbing his hair. If actions could speak, they would say,
It's okay, you can't control it.